Hello all and welcome to the channel. Today I am bringing you a video on the latest economic space games. There is an absolute ton of games I've noticed that have been based on space in the last year. I just feel like I need to bring you guys who are interested in this sort of theme up to date with what is out there. So if you like your space games, this is the video for you. Now previously, most economic games, if you could call them that economic, were things like Eclipse and Terraforming Mars, but it's absolutely exploded recently. So to begin with, the first game I have that I think you need to be aware of that's space sort of themed, well, it is space themed, and I've talked about this quite a lot recently, is Sky Mine. So this one is where you are mining the moon and you're investing in promising companies to make yourself a fortune. And as I've said before, it re-implementation of Mombasa, and it plays 1 to 4, says it takes about 75 minutes to 150, and it's that heavier complexity. Now in this one, you're investors trying to earn the most Cripe coin over the course of 7 rounds. And you'll do this by investing in mined resources, and you're trying to improve your earnings by supporting scientists, researching, and by having them collect precious materials. Now, the heart of this game is a unique card programming and hand management system that requires careful and clever planning, which says it provides a deep player interaction by letting you invest in any of these 4 companies. And as the combination of company abilities changes, it will change each game. There'll be this sort of endless option for synergy and strategies to explore. So very much looking forward to playing this one myself, and this is the first to kick us off in that space theme. Next up, our second game we have is plutocracy, shall we say, and this is where you are earning money and power whilst trading in this rotating universe. So an interesting aspect to the game, this. Now it's 2 to 4 players, plays in about 60 to 90 minutes, just finished its Kickstarter recently, but I believe you can get pre-orders on this one, and this is on the heavier complexity. So here's the board here, quite simplistic looking. You can see these planets rotate around the solar system as you make the most of this trading and getting the resources. Now it says space is time, is money, is power, and you'll be leading one of the big trading corporations, and you'll travel from planet to planet buying and selling resources, and you'll be buying you'll be selling these at a higher price than you buy, as a typical making profit, and you'll be earning money, space euros, and you'll need this money to buy seats, which is an interesting part of the game here, in the planetary parliaments. And each of these 3 elections during the game, players who have the majority in this planetary parliament will send councillors to plutocratic council, which is on Earth, I believe. And equally as important as the elections are the societies on Earth, which is where, if you have the conditions met, you will be taking the win here. So at the end of the game, whoever has these councillors on the it's a hard word to say, plutocratic council will be the winner at the end of the game. So some interesting stuff on the go here, and that is plutocracy. Now, number 3, we have Lunar Rush. This is a 1 to 4 player game, 60 to 90 minutes, and it says you are corporations bidding to get the most efficient mining on the moon for maximum profit. And it's a light complexity, this, but we'll see where it goes. That's only early days as to its release on the Geek. So here's a close-up, and you can see in this one it's a simultaneous action play style with this Euro theme to it, and you're playing as one of Earth's 4 major conglomerates competing to mine the moon for the newly discovered crystals and lunaranium ore. Some strange words in space themed games here. Now, companies are bidding to transport resources to and from the moon via the most efficient route possible. You'll be building and upgrading moon bases to mine and refine these resources and sell the finished product on Earth to maximize your profits. Now, every turn, players will be using VPs to bid for the best space routes to and from the moon, and the slower the route, the more you can make via your ship. Then on the moon, players will simultaneously upgrade their bases and place workers to produce the resources they need to ship back to Earth with these bustling luxury markets, it says. And finally, you sell at the moon the goods on Earth to profit. So you can see some of the prototype sort of spaceships and artwork here. And here's a few more things. So early stages, this one, but I like what I see and looking forward to seeing more. Now at number 4 here, the 4th game we have is a game I've talked about a lot on the channel, done a video for this, and it is Space Swiss Lane Trader. I really enjoyed my plays on this one, and you are spaceship captains competing to earn the most money back and forth trading goods around this galaxy. You can see the board here of the spaceships, and you're trying to go back and forth on the inner and outer areas. It's slightly more risky on those yellow areas. Now it's a 1 to 8 player game, so you can play multiple cooperative sort of versions on it. 90 to 150 minutes, and it's that sort of light, just touching on medium complexity. Now in this one, as I said, you're a trader, you're playing a character. We've got a character on this slide here, so you've got some cool unique players to be. Just going back a sec, you can see these are some of your cargo ships, slightly different capabilities of speed, attack and defense at the top, and cargo they can have. So I really like this whole universe they've made out of this. So you're trying to make a fortune in this newly opened up shipping trade. You'll buy and sell goods, transporting them between planets, you can see here, and you've got different demand on prices. So you can see this is the market, and they'll change as you go throughout the game. But the main objective is to earn money, credits faster than your competitors, and return to show off your success. Can you fit these on your ship, and you'll be making upgrades to make them go faster and defend better. You can also buy new ships with better capabilities. There's your ship, as I've already shown you, to carry more goods and go faster. You can also develop your characters throughout the game. Now the most obvious way of earning money is buying goods and transporting it to other planets to sell them there, and another way is by attacking your competitors, which you can do, and that's one of the ways you can try and win there. And as you go out throughout the game, you can also take cargo from your opponents, and there's debris cards as well. I don't think I got a picture of those. So a lot of interesting things on this one, really streamlined. I like the whole universe it's created, and a lot of fun, this one, a space game. So the fifth game we have, another game I've talked a lot about, but it's really worth mentioning here, is Edict Solar Contention. I've done videos on this one. This is a 2 to 5 player game. It's all about expanding into the solar system and achieving commercial domination. It's on the longer play time, and it's a heavier complexity. I'd say 2, 3, potentially 4 hours sometimes during a learning game. Now in this one, it's set in the near future, and humanity is renewing itself. Economies are reviving their nations, and they're looking to go to the stars as humanity rediscovers the urge to reach beyond the confines of planet Earth. And you'll have these edicts which are set, and they're sort of a demand and a license for the most capable to be allowed to venture into space, and you'll attain victory points through these. Now you're in control of one of these powerful organizations. On the next slide, you can see we've got Alazon here, and give you a whole host of benefits as you reveal these different buildings and things into space. And you're expanding your influence into the solar system. You're trying to export resources back, and you're trying to get more capabilities. You've got this mission control board here, which allows you, as you get more skill for these different flight directors and head geologists and chief financial officers, you get more capabilities to do things. And by colonizing new worlds, you'll be investing in groundbreaking technologies and recruiting the most distinguished minds in space exploration. And you'll dive into your organization to control the stars and pave the way for new frontiers of humanity. So a lot to like about this game. You're exploring, you're developing this mission control board, you're trying to reveal different parts on your player board here. So loads to like about this. Go and check out my overview and run through on this one. The next space game we have, which I've briefly mentioned in some of my top 10s, and it was at the UK Games Expo convention as well, is Solar 175. And in this, your corporation's competing in the dark dystopia, and what are you willing to do to win? So solo, all the way up to 5 players, 40 to 120 minutes. I've got a feeling it's going to take slightly longer. I haven't played this one yet, and it's that medium complexity. So a closer up of the board here. Now in this epic Eurostar legacy experience, it says, the game utilises bag building, area control and worker placement, and it's inspired as on the fusion between classic Euro games such as Orleans and El Grande, both great games, and a unique thematic and evolving universe that's created this whole universe around it. And it's set in this prosperous, expanding solar system with immersive world building and engaging narratives that this game can offer. Now play occurs across 3 cycles, it says, 3 phases: the draw phase, the assign phase and the action phase, and players are simultaneously drawing workers from their unique bags and assigning these on the jobs they'll be doing. And during the action phase, players will take turns to remove workers and these jobs to perform a large variety of actions to help propel them to victory. And the winner is the player of the most influence points at the end of the game. Typical there. So a few images here, a few close-ups, some really nice production so far. Very much looking forward to getting a play of this. Now the next game is kind of set in the same universe. They couldn't quite fit it as one whole game into it, so they made a stock market game called Gonza Index. Very big fan of this. I did manage to play this at the UK Games Expo. Now this one is a 2 to 5 player game, 20 to 60 minutes, got some beautiful artwork, and it's that sort of lightweight game, and it's based off that Yahtzee feel where you're rolling these dice and you're deciding which ones to keep. Now the Gonza Index is the most valuable stock market, it says, in the Solar 175 universe. It's a fast-paced standalone dice checking game, and you're taking the role of stock traders in this futuristic dystopia again and competing to get the most credits. And each round you roll 5 dice, you'll take up to 2 re-rolls, and depending on the outcome will determine what your actions are. You can earn credits, you can purchase stocks, you can manipulate the market, you can gain favour, so a load of good stuff to do. And as you play, you've got these unique events that will appear. You can see some of the organisations in the backdrop here where the prices of the stocks will fluctuate through there, and you're trying to get most influence on there to take literally a multiplier of your assets times the price and get the most money at the end of the game. And you've got this event deck on the next card. You can see some things that really spice it up as you play throughout the game. It's got this push your luck aspect to the game as you invest in valuable your credits in these unpredictable sort of financial battleground. A lot to like about Gonza Index, folks. You need to have a look at that one. Now, at the 8th game we have here is Asteroid Empire. Not a lot of people have heard this one. It's quite sort of undiscovered at the moment, but this one, your rival CEOs of asteroid mining startup companies to compete to make the most profit. Light complexity, this one, 2 players only, says it takes 30 to 60 minutes. Now in this one, there's not a lot of images out there at the moment. It looks quite pixelated, so not sure where they're going to be going this one, but you're a CEO of a new asteroid mining space startup, and your job is to make the most money from exploring nearby asteroids for precious resources. You'll be coordinating your ships and your crew to claim and extract everything you can from these asteroids and return them to Earth for biggest profit. So there's a lot of this similar theme amongst all these games about returning resources to Earth and what have you. Now in this one, the more you control the supply of one type of resource, the more money you can make. But watch out for your competitors who want to expand their asteroid mining empires too. Now interestingly, it says it's a 9-card game, so not a lot to it in terms of materials, but looks like quite a nice little sort of light go-to game. The 9th game we have is Star Tycoon. This is the only image I have of this one, so very early days. It says it's coming out into 2024. Not sure when the Kickstarter is yet, but you're expanding your interstellar company with a central market and you're reacting to the supply and demand. But I love the artwork here so far. In Star Tycoon, players will take on the role of an interstellar business with the goal of outperforming their business rivals by the last round. Each player gains victory points by claiming sets of planets and developing them with production facilities and other buildings. Now central to this is a fluctuating market, love the sound of that reacts to supply and demand, and knowing when to buy and when to sell and creating the most profit is key to this game. Now it says it plays from solo up to 6, says it takes 20 to 120 minutes. We'll see what happens there, so looking forward to seeing more on this. Not sure what complexity is, but keep an eye out for this one. Okay, so that was all 9. Now number 10, I got a sneaky one which has got several games in here. They have economic aspects. Maybe they're not the most economic games out there, but I wanted to sort of highlight them for your radar. So here we are, folks. So we have Solar Sphere at the bottom here. This is where you're building a Dyson sphere, it says, to advance humankind into an intergalactic civilization. So I'm not going to go into full details on these. Now it's got a 1 to 4 players. It says 60 to 90 minutes, and that's medium complexity. In the middle, we've got Last Light, where alien factions are gathering light from a white dwarf star at the end of the universe. 2 to 4 players, 45 to 75 minutes, it says, and another medium complexity game. At the top, then, we have Cosmos Empires. You're building your galactic empire in this engine building card game. 2 to 8 players, some high player counts on these games, and short playing times as well, 15 to 45 minutes, and another lightweight game, it says. At the top right, we have Voidfall. Love the look of this one. This is where you're repelling the Voidborn and restoring dominion in the space. 4x for Euro enthusiast, it says. Another solo option all the way up to 4 players, 90 to 240 minutes, so longer playing time potentially, and heavy complexity by the looks of it. Now if I move my face out the way, you can see we have Beyond Humanity, and this is the Astro Miners version. They've done another game prior to this as well. Space miner crews in the race for the asteroid belt resources and more resources across the universe here. 2 to 4 players, 45 to 90 minutes it says, and it's that kind of medium complexity game. And that is all the games we have today, folks. Hopefully, if you're interested in space themes, something has caught your attention today. So many games about space, it just needed to be made, this video. There we are. Bye for now.